Hello, everyone. Welcome to the nation's capital and Washington Dulles International Airport. It is the afternoon rush here, typically when all the international flights come in, and we'll see what kind of traffic we can get. Coming in from the south today. While we're waiting for some traffic to come in, let's give you some history about the airport. Opened up in 1962, and the main terminal and the historic tower over there were designed by Finnish architect Eero Saarinen. The terminal originally was half of its current length. It was kind of the middle half like that, and then in 1996 they added on a quarter on each end to create the length it is today. In the mid-'80s, they created the C&D concourse, which is the terminal closest to me. Right now, we're on top of the current air traffic control tower that was opened up in 2006. The C&D concourse is home to United Airlines. This is United Airlines hub. And this building was opened up in the mid-'80s. It was designed as a temporary structure, will eventually be replaced by a new structure that's going to be a little bit closer to the current tower, sort of on top of this cluster of buildings, and will go along here. The A and B concourse is where all the international flights go to and from. It was built in the late 90s, early 2000s. Much nicer than the C&D concourse if you've ever been at Dulles. It has 4 runways, so 3 north-south runways. The westernmost was opened in 2008, and then we also have a runway facing the northwest, which is where most of the departures happen towards the Blue Ridge Mountains. Towards the south side, you can see the Udvar-Hazy Center, Air and Space Museum, opened up in 2003. And we have another arrival coming in on runway 1 right, a Saudi Airlines 777-300ER. ITA Airways Airbus A330 just previously landed, and it appears to be stuck. Let's take an inventory of what we have at the gates currently. So at the C&D concourse, we have a United 777-200 and a 767-300. Going down, we also have another United Airlines 767 and the new livery. And that's it for there. The A and B concourse, hard to see on the other side, but we have a Avianca Airbus A320, I think that is. It might be an A319. And an Austrian Airlines, I can see the tail on the other side, Austrian Airlines 767-300. And a Lufthansa. Have several FedEx airplanes towards the northwest corner of the property. That's where the freight area is. We have some United Airlines planes up there. That's actually where their maintenance hangar is, way up there. And you have general aviation private jets over by Dulles Jet Center and Signature Flight Support on the northeast corner of the property. United 777-300ER just touched down. Runway 1 right. And is barreling through the grass. I know you guys want to see you have on-time arrivals, but I don't know that that's the best way to do it. Oh, you're about to destroy the... I mean, you're after my own heart. You're destroying the crappy old concourse, but that's not how I would go about doing that. We have another United 777 Coming on runway 1 right.
Runway 1 right approach. Cleared ILS runway 1 right approach Cessna 8 Delta Bravo.
Yeah, between the hours of about 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is where you're going to get all the heavies. Are you going to do the same crazy maneuver your previous guy did, or are you going to actually take a taxiway like a licensed airline transport pilot? And it looks like they're going to behave. Alright, looks like we have a Learjet taxiing out. In front of him we have
United Niner 88 Heavy exit runway when able.
737-800 also taxiing out. Look at the size difference between the Learjet and the 777.
United Niner 88 Heavy contact ground on 129.55.
The Learjet could take off on the wing of that plane. Crazy. Dulles Airport, decades ago, used to kind of be in the middle of nowhere, just out in the middle of rural Virginia. Now is surrounded by suburbia. To the north, you have Sterling and Ashburn. To the east, you have Herndon. To the west, you have Leesburg and all sorts of new towns I'm not even familiar with because they didn't even exist 10 to 15 years ago. So the airport's now surrounded by suburbs and is much more convenient to many more people than it used to be several decades ago.
Next taxiway.
Got a Copa Airlines 737-800 with a old Continental rip-off paint scheme.
Cessna 8 Delta Bravo exit runway when able. Cessna 8 Delta Bravo, contact ground on 121.9er.
While we're waiting for the next airplane, let's give a little bit more history about the airport. As you can see, near the main terminal, there are all these white shuttle bus looking things. These are called mobile lounges. Before the midfield concourses existed, this was just open pavement on the south end. So what people would do is they would show up to the main terminal, they would check their bags, go straight to the back of the terminal and get on one of these mobile lounges. Had snack trays, a bar, I'm sure there was lots of smoking going on, you know, the early 60s. And they would take one of these mobile lounges out to the tarmac and straight to one of the airplanes. They still use these today to get from the main terminal to the D concourse, which is over here. In 2009 or 2010, they opened up something called the Aero Train, which is an underground subway that now connects the main terminal with the A gates over here, the B gates over here, and the C gates over here. However, the C gate station is actually located there because they future-proofed it for the new concourse that will be here in, I don't even know, 2078. Who knows? So now if you go to the C gates, you have to walk from the station over here underground, up the escalator right there into the C and D concourse. It's annoying, but that's the way it works right now. Got someone on short final for one right.
Dulles Tower, United Niner, 47 Heavy 10 miles south, inbound ILS runway 1 right approach. United Niner, 47 Heavy Dulles Tower. Altimeter 29.85 wind tree, 41 at 1 tree. Cleared ILS runway
You know, when the United new livery came out in 2019, I was not the biggest fan of it. At first, I thought the cheat line, the curved cheat line underneath should have been the lighter shade of blue. And I thought that the tail, they should have kept the white horizontal lines. As you can see here, just the white horizontal lines kind of make it pop. And in low light conditions, just the fact that the globe's now one color, I don't know, I didn't love it. The more I see it, the more I've come to peace with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the new United livery? I mean, it's certainly better than the copy-paste Continental livery. They just slapped United on a Continental plane and called it a day. That was terrible, and we had to deal with that for almost a decade. 767-300 coming in on one right. And when I was a kid, 767s, 757s, they were everywhere. Now, these planes many of them are approaching 30 years old or older, and they're starting to go away. It's crazy. Maybe one day they'll bring back like a 757 MAX, who knows? But in the meantime, enjoy these 1980s, 90s birds while we can. Very nice. We have a Scandinavian Airlines Airbus A350 coming on runway 1 left. Finally, something that's not United. Don't get me wrong, I love United. I have lots of miles with them, but variety makes a good video, doesn't it?
Cleared ILS runway 1 right approach. United 229er heavy.
This is another new livery that's kind of controversial. Did anyone miss the orange engines? I don't totally miss them. I kind of like this livery. It's simple, basic, elegant. I mean, by far the worst has to be Lufthansa. The new Lufthansa livery just, I'm sorry, so dull, so boring. What they should have done is they should have kept the crane and the circle around the crane yellow. And that's what they should have done, and it would have looked awesome. But they didn't, and it just looks it looks like a logo for a law firm. I don't know, just dull as crap. The maintenance facility for the Aerotrain trains is right here, by the way. So what they don't tell you is that after the Seagate station, the trains continue under the ground over here. They make this between the trees and go over to this facility. It's hard to see, there is a taxiway that goes behind the trees from runway 1 right, back behind the main hangar for the Udvar-Hazy Museum. So they can literally fly their exhibits in, and if there's events going on, we'll fly into Dallas, they taxi down, and then they have the event at the museum. It's pretty cool. All right, we have a 767-300 in the new livery landing on 1 right. Everyone's coming in on 1 right today, which means those at the observation tower at the museum certainly have a good view. It's like a Continental plane where the stripes are just protesting and they're ripping themselves off the globe. Also not a great livery. Like I said, all the international flights are arriving. So we get all the heavies, 767, 777s. United also has several 787s, so I'm surprised we haven't seen those yet. They have Dash 8s, Dash 9s, and Dash 10s. It is good to see this airport getting a lot of activity. In the, I believe it was the early 2010s, activity at Reagan National Airport near downtown DC actually eclipsed the traffic here at Dulles, which is a much larger facility with the capacity here is much bigger than at National. So for National to be outpacing this airport, in my opinion, is a problem. Still, I think the majority of domestic flights occur there. The majority of international flights occur here. And somewhere in the middle is BWI. If you've enjoyed this coverage of Washington Dulles International Airport with live FSLTL traffic, please give this video a like, comment down below. What's your favorite airplane that you've seen so far? And what airport would you like us to do next? We're going to do any airport that I see suggested, as long as it makes sense and we don't have to wait 12 minutes between airplanes. Alright, what's going over ahead now? Iberia. Airbus A330. Very nice. Also heading down to the south. Make a U-turn and come back on one of the runways. A lot of heavies showing up, that's for sure. It is strange to me how the 767-300 has long outlasted the 767-200. 767-200s, basically, you haven't been able to see them for 10 to 15 years. They kind of just went away. 300s held on, though. You still see them several airlines in passenger service and in freight, especially. It's a very elegant-looking airplane, very good proportions.
Dulles Tower, Iberia, 61 tree, 1 heavy, 10 miles, south inbound ILS runway, 1 right approach. Iberia, 61 tree, 1 heavy, Dulles Tower. Altimeter 29.85 wind tree, 41 at 1 tree. Cleared ILS runway, 1 right approach.
This airport actually spans across 2 counties. About the eastern third of the property is in Fairfax County. The western 2/3 is in Loudoun County, Virginia. And fun fact, the original historic air traffic control tower was in use from the opening of the airport in 1962 all the way to 2006, when they built the much larger tower to the south here. The reason they did that is because of these trees over here obscured some of the visibility to the westmost runway. Alright, we've got something overflying the field. What's going to be next? A Dreamliner. Very cool. That's going to be the next. 787-9 United. Coming in from the south. In the meantime, we have an Iberia on probably about a 2-mile final at this point. 2 to 3 mile final. Runway 1 right. Probably coming in from Madrid. Iberia again with a another airline with a refreshed paint scheme in the 2010s. Much more minimalist. It's okay. It's okay. A lot of Euro white. It's okay. Just like that landing, it was okay. believe that's an Airbus A330, either a 200 or a 300. Comment down below, is this an Airbus A330 200 or 300? Up above we have a American Eagle, Embraer E170, probably departing off of National Airport, overflying to the west. There are future plans to build a parallel runway to runway 1230. It's going to be to the south side in the trees back in here. That probably won't happen for several decades. They need to wait until the activity level comes up a little bit more in order to warrant that. I'm just looking forward to the new C&D concourse, which is so badly needed. The inside of this terminal, I mean, you can see how tiny the windows are. Little slits. It's like a prison in there. Low ceilings. It's like a glorified trailer. Whereas look how much bigger the windows on the A and B concourse are. Just lots more natural light. Higher ceilings. There are flags of all the countries that the airlines that serve this airport go to. It's such a better terminal. So much better than this dingy gray thing. And the sad thing is, like I said, 60% of the traffic at this airport is United, so 60% of all the passengers have to go through this archaic dungeon.
Dulles Tower, United 5 tree, heavy 10 miles, south inbound ILS runway 1 right approach. United 5 tree, heavy Dulles Tower. Altimeter 29.85 wind tree, 41 at 10. Cleared ILS runway 1 right approach.
Ooh, that was a hard landing.
Cleared ILS runway 1 right approach.
We would have gotten lots of wing flex on that one. I flew on a United 787 earlier this year, and it was a nice experience. Big windows, you know, very comfortable, but they locked the dimming on the windows because they don't have window shades. They have the electric dimming feature, and the United flight attendants locked the dimming all the way dim as we were flying over the Alps. It's like, how long have humans wanted to see the Alps from above, and we finally get this chance to see this beautiful view of the Alps, and I can't see it because it looks like I'm looking through 18 sunglasses at the same time. It was terrible. The winglets on these, you know, these didn't come with winglets. They've been added retroactively, but the winglets on the 767s are so huge. I think they're like 9 feet tall each. So yeah, let us know. Do you like this video? What airport do you want to see next? Do you want another Dulles Airport video? I'm happy to do that. You got lots of big airplanes. Not as much variety as, say, something like LAX, but pretty cool nonetheless. You can see on the radar we have lots of arrivals coming in. First, on one right, 737-800. And on one left, United Express Embraer 170.
United 1 tree, for 9er exit runway when able. United 1 tree, 49er contact ground on 121.625.
Looks like we're going to have our first go around. We have a United 777-200 coming in on runway 1 left.
Clear to land runway 1 right, Shamrock 117. Going to 121.
And there he goes, going around.
United 1 tree, 49er.
First go around of the day. That's an expensive go around. Amount of fuel that plane burns. And to go around for such a dinky little plane like that, who's just off the runway now, he could have made that. He could have made that.
Air shuttle.
Right, there's the Aer Lingus A321neo coming in from Dublin. Top of the afternoon to you. Crazy that we've gotten to a point where a narrow body can make it across the Atlantic. I'm not sure that when Airbus designed the Airbus A320 family that they thought eventually it would be used to do transatlantic flights. Crazy. Same thing with the 737 family. Here at Dulles, I believe there are Icelandair 737 MAX flights that occur that go from here to Reykjavik. Same thing there. The 737 family was not invented to do transatlantic flights by any means. So I'm showing somebody flying in front, but I don't see them. Oh, there they are. It's King Air.
129.55 for Shamrock 117.
Well, aren't you fancy, Mr. King Air, flying into big international airport? You know, that's why they invented airports like Manassas and Leesburg and Gaithersburg for you. And we got... Ooh, that's going to be trouble right there.
Dulles Tower Air Shuttle 620-815 miles.
Unless if one of them's landing on one left, maybe, but I don't think so.
Air Shuttle 6208 Dulles Tower. Altimeter 29.85.
We'll see who had dibs. If you were cleared first, you're going to be landing, and the person behind you is going to be touching down.
Beechcraft 8 Uniform Papa, turn next taxiway.
Nope, it wasn't you.
One right approach Air Shuttle 620.
So it's going to be you. Not at Airbus A319.
Contact ground on 121.
David versus Goliath, and David wins. And this guy, he's doing a big circle around the airport, trying to figure out what his next move's going to be. Getting vectors to the south side again so they can try it again. Look at how busy the C and D gates are compared to when we started. We have 767-300, 767-300, 777-200, two 767-300s, 787-9, a 767-300. Feel like a broken record at this point. 777-200, a 777-300, a 737-800, and E-170. More 777s and more 767s. The international terminal, we're starting to also get busy. We have the Iberia plane that arrived a while ago, the Aer Lingus plane, the ITA plane, SAS, Saudi, Austrian, Avianca, and Lufthansa, and a tiny little King Air going through. Remember Sesame Street? One of these things just doesn't belong here. So yeah, we're about to have our first one center arrival. I don't know who that is, but we're about to see. It's going to be a one center followed by a one left and then a one right. And then I think we will call it.
One right.
All right, our first one center arrival will be a 737.
One right air shuttle.
It's either a Dash 8 or a Dash 9, can't tell yet. Or a 800 or 900, can't tell yet. It's an 800. See, next is going to be, they're going to be about tied. Let's see. The one left is an E170. Who cares? Let's see what's coming on one right. Also an E170. Who cares? So we'll just stay with this one. If anyone from Embraer is watching, no offense, I didn't mean who cares. I know lots of people were involved with lots of hard time and effort into creating this airplane, which is now the ubiquitous regional jet. But when you've been looking at wide bodies all day, seeing a 75-seater come in is just kind of like, eh. And you don't even have an overwing exit. The only onboard service is getting a glass of water. It's kind of underwhelming. So we're going to call it there. Thanks again for joining us today. And we'll see you next time. Again, comment down below what airport would you like us to see us do next. Have a good evening, everyone.